they had one scene where Tony Leung's actual wife is playing with Tang Wei's character. So they keep showing Tang Wei like 吃 to win. When the wife keeps saying 碰 to win. Yeah, so it actually gives a lot of like indication like, she's so-called eating the tiles away from her husband. The ultimate plot twist is when they reveal their hands, right, it showed that actually the husband is not feeding the tiles to her. The husband is actually waiting for his own tiles to win.
Welcome to our coffee shop. I'm your host, Chit, and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros show presented by the Chit Podcast Network. And for those of you that are tuning in via YouTube or any sort of podcasting platform, hi again. Thank you so much for giving us a try, for giving us a listen. Just a bunch of Singaporeans that love X-rated movies. Not porn.
Not kopi.
Not kopi. We're not kopi.
So many hashtags, oh my god.
So many hashtags. Speaking of people that love X-rated movies, once again, I'm joined by my KopiBros, Mr. Brandio. But for this week's episode, we have a special guest, Mr. Jing Yong, our guy that normally does our drafting episodes. He's decided to hop on for this particular episode. And the reason why is because Jing Yong, you actually love movies, correct?
Yes, not just X-rated ones.
Yeah, not only X-rated ones. They'll be like extremely weird. Yeah, but actually, like, fun fact, we've been trying to do like a movie related draft, movie related podcast, anything. Yeah, and then every time that we wanna like bring you on, right, you're not available, correct? Yeah, so it's like, I think it's like finally like the time that we can officially get you to come on. Yeah.
Right. The last one was really out of nowhere. I got sick, man. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's just like pure fever. Correct. At least we can have you on for this week's episode, which is going to be X-rated movies. Now, I want to ask you guys, right? Is there actually a difference between X and R rated?
Oh, good question.
Actually, right.
As in like, to be honest, I don't know. Is that like actual difference?
I think No. I think R rated is like those like literally R21 rated movies, but actually X rated, right? I believe is more like
there's sex.
Yeah, there is sex, like sex involved. Yeah.
Okay, then let me think. Does my movie has? I think has, but different kind. Yeah. So it's still eligible. You're a bit confused. It's like different kind.
You mean you're referring to like National Geographic, that kind of, I don't know.
Well, when I bring it up later, I'll explain why is it X-rated lah. Oh yeah.
Mine also have a very different kind also. A very intense different kind.
Intense different kind. Okay. We'll lead into that a bit later, but actually I wanted to talk to Jing Yong, right? Do you remember like when we sort of realized that actually you like we both of us like the similar sort of like taste in movies? Do you remember?
Was it the time when the cinema lights came on, then the four of us look at me like crying, then like, oh my god, should we leave? Should we not leave?
Yeah. Okay, so I want to give some context about this story, right? So during the time me and Jing Yong we know each other is because of my wife. Yeah. Because Nat went to university with Jing Yong.
Yes.
And then like Nat famously also like copy all of your notes for like class and stuff like that. Right?
We help each other.
Yes. Collaborative effort. But she also like, how to say Shumin and like my wife we're all like a close group of friends .
Yeah.
So during this period, right, we all decided to go and watch this like movie together . So it was like it was like four of us, right, plus Shumin like Yong Kang .
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. And the movie was, can you remember the movie?
Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Still one of the best movies I ever watched. Yeah.
Have you watched this movie, Brandon?
I don't think I did. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl.
Yeah. So it was a very like art house movie. It's not like art house, but yeah. It's on the same vein of like Perks of Being a Wallflower. Kind of film.
Correct.
Yeah, where there's like an emotional touch to it, but there's like still this like youthful, tangy humor to it . So it's like a mixed blend . Yeah. So the movie has a very like emotional ending. Yeah. But then as we were watching it, right, the whole cinema is like very quiet, but you can hear Then when they turn over to Young, he's crying his heart out there in the cinema.
No, then all along, right, I always thought I was like safe under the surroundings of black. Then suddenly, I couldn't stop crying. Then the lights just on, like the credits still running, then on, Then I'm like, oh my god, I feel so embarrassed. Like everybody's still like, hey, should we go? Like Jin Yong like that, haven't finished, Then I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we haven't gone. Then he's having his moment.
Yeah.
He's really feeling it.
Yeah, he's really feeling it. And then somehow, like I remember my wife, right? Because I was sitting next to her. Then I felt like we were like passing popcorn, right? She like still keep nudging me with the popcorn, like, hey, see, this Jin Yong is okay, no? Like, does he want popcorn? I was sitting next to him, yeah. And one of those moments that is like whenever I think of like both of us liking movies, I always remember that particular moment,
yeah. For anyone that haven't watched it, right, don't bother searching for all the reviews and everything. Just go watch it first. Because I really believe the whole point of the whole movie is the last 10 minutes. Then the last 10 minutes, right, will be the reason why you understand why I cry so much.
Yeah. But you need the first
exactly
80% of the movie to hit
exactly,
that.
to understand.
That last.
Correct.
Yeah. It's a very like the way that he did that was very I don't know how to explain. Like Brandon is very like hopeless romantic. He do like very grand gestures, this type of thing, right? It's like I was like, wow, Brandon would do something like this if like he was in this situation. That's what I was thinking of. Alright, for this week's episode, we're going to be doing X-rated movies. So it's like some of our favorite X-rated films. How we're going to do this is that we're going to be going like in a round table format. So Jin Yong will go first with his first movie. Then after that, Brandon will go with his show. And then I will go third. And then after that, Jin Yong will go last to go and round off the whole thing. To sort of like have a more... Because I don't want us to like talk and then like we go all over the place. You know what I mean? Like we have to have some like topical points and then like how you could break down each episode or whatever. Okay, so the first part is that you have to describe your movie or show in one sentence. Your first one. And then from there we can talk about like, oh, am I intrigued? Am I not intrigued? Yeah. And then after that, the people that are watching, they can also like decide for themselves. Then next up is also then after that we'll talk a bit about the plot. So it's like you have to tell us like what's the plot is going on. What are some of your favorite scenes or favorite moments, favorite acting performances in the thing? Would you recast anybody in the show? So like, can you think of like, okay, I will put someone else in, or maybe I feel that if it was a different director, it could have been better or something like that. And then can this be made into a movie or a show? So like, Brandon, you're doing a show, right? We have to see whether it can be made into a movie. For me and Jin Yong, movie, can this made into a show? Would it be better as a show? Like, would it have been better if we had more time to go and run out all this lah? And then lastly, you'll give our movie rating. So how do you want to do a movie? I will just give you a grade lah, like A, B, this type of thing, B plus, C minus, whatever lah.
Sure. We're gonna go by Rotten Tomato scores.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go by Rotten Tomato scores, and maybe at the end we can give our own scores of like how interested we are to watch the movie, like from each other. Yeah. So out of 100 lah. All right. First off, Mr. Jin Yong, you can start off with your first movie. What is the movie that you're going to be recommending? X-rated.
Okay, maybe I start off by describing my movie in one sentence.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. A married woman seduces a married man to save her country. Their country, actually, yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. Married woman.
So, the movie I want to talk about is actually a movie that when I was in secondary school, I wanted to watch so badly because the director refused to cut away the sex scenes to make it NC-16. But so it was actually released as an R21 movie, but of course some movie theaters and distributors still cut away the sex scenes and release an NC-16 version. But end of the day, the director still, he say if it's up to him, he wouldn't cut away the sex scenes. So it's a last caution.
Oh, yeah. How do you say his Chinese name?
Tang Wei. And
the director is Ang Lee lah, the Life of Pi, Crouching Tiger. Yeah, correct.
To put it in simpler terms, that is not one sentence. It's about this girl acted by Tang Wei who actually seduces the character that acted by Tony Leung. So
great
actor. Because he so-called he's a Han Jian, or rather a betrayer working under the Japanese. So the plot is that she wanted to seduce him and then make him fall in love with her so that they can find an appropriate moment to assassinate him. But of course, in the end, she fell in love with the guy. So things, chaos ensues and all this stuff. Yeah. So that's the gist of the movie. Yeah. And then in the movie also, as a sub character, is this Wang Lihong that of course now you know, yeah. Basically, what happened to Tony Leung in the movie happened to him, sort of, yeah.
Forever love. I love it. Yeah. So for you, right, this movie, specifically maybe about the like sex scenes or this, right? Why was it like so insistent for him to put it in the film?
Okay, so this was also a question I asked myself when I was researching for the film, because surprisingly, right, when my university professor, when I took his lesson about Chinese movies, right, he also for this movie and he specifically focused on the sex scenes because he wanted us to focus on how the scene was being framed. So you realize that a lot of these sex scenes, they are not taken like just focusing on a couple. They'll like be juxtaposed, for example, with a window. Then outside the window, there's a dog barking. Or let's say outside the window, there's always a patrol guard with a dog walking around. So there's this idea that lust and caution is always side by side.
Okay. I get what you mean. Okay, and that makes sense with the plot. Is because how to say they don't want to get exposed, is it? Or like
correct.
They can't get caught,
Yeah, correct. So I think it's really the for me for some other people might be a different thing about like, you know, lust and caution, about how like in a chaotic times your body, your emotions don't belong to you. But I think this is, for me, is a bit about like playing with fire and then you burn yourself, this kind of thing.
Yeah. And somehow it's like a very uncontrollable, emotionally it's like driven by your emotions. It's not something that you often lose yourself over it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which was what happened to Tang Wei's character in the movie. She lost herself. Literally.
Okay. So who is the main like actor? Is it the girl or is it Tony Leung?
The girl, right?
I would say the girl. The girl was the main how to say, the main plot, or the main person that strings the whole plot together.
Okay.
So like Tony Leung only appeared in the middle to the latter half of the movie .
Okay. Does he steal the movie?
I would say honestly, if you don't watch carefully, you wouldn't think he stole the movie, because it's very easy to get to get pulled away by all the sex scenes and all the things that's happening. Because the thing about Li Ang, if you watch his movies, he focuses a lot about like on the details. Like for example, in a lot of his scenes, like even what they wear, and then like even like even the setting of the movie is all very deliberate. So I think the acting might not be the most eye-catching thing for a lot of people straight away, unless you rewatch it and then you think of like, I'm going to go in and like see how he acts. Then it's like, then you realize the subtlety towards his character and then his emotions that he showed towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. And somehow like he's very famous for being able to act by not saying anything.
Yes.
Yes.
It's his eyes, like the way that he can convey things with his eyes.
Correct.
Yeah. Someone not everyone can do it.
I think Simu Liu or Simu Liu, the guy in the 10 rings.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. He said that there were a lot of scenes, right, when the camera had to just zoom in on Tony Leung and then they just say, okay, you just act because they had to have a close-up shot on him. He would just be behind the camera and just look at him. And then Tony Leung, like, you don't have to look at me, right? You can go and rest. He said, no, I want to see like how you act.
How you do it. Yeah. Because he's famous for this particular thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Plus he stole that show, Tony Leung.
Yeah. But it's also because he was like the best villain for a while already. Like in the Marvel. Yeah.
Because it's so long, like the villains were all just like...
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay, but now let's like sort of like run down a bit about the categories. Okay, what's your like favorite scenes, or like what's your, like some of your or the reasonings why and stuff like that?
I got 2 sets of favorite scenes. Okay, of course the first set, I think Meetek just now talked a bit about it. It's the sex scenes actually. So I think a few things to notice about sex scenes. Of course, just now I mentioned, you know, the juxtaposing about how the scenes were being framed. And then the interesting thing that I didn't realize until I did some research was that in the first sex scene, right, Tang Wei actually smiled after the sex, although it was very it was very vigorous, it was very animalistic. But she cried in the third sex scene, although it was very like, it was like lovers like that, but she cried.
Okay.
Yeah. But Tony Leung actually smiled after the second sex scene because Tang Wei's character asked him for her house. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think Yeah, I think it was very, how to say, it was detailed about this that I didn't realize until I went and did some research and, people pointed out. I'm like, actually it makes sense. Yeah.
What's the meaning? The subtext of it?
Okay, so the subtext of it was after the first sex scene, right? Actually, Tang Wei smiled because she felt that her ploy was finally, being administered. She felt that she had this guy on
hooked
his,
him.
on
She
the
hooked
palm
him.
of her
Yeah.
hand. Yeah, exactly. But at the second sex scene, after she asked the guy for a house, right? I think she started thinking of herself as a concubine or as a lover to this guy. So the guy smiled because I think he now knows that the table is being turned and that you're just like a normal, concubine that asks me for things. You're not that kind of like, we are not like that kind of like, we love each other because we love each other, that kind, everything is materialistic. But I think by the third sex scene, they she sort of realized that she has fallen in love with this guy and then she cannot, like, whatever plans or the country has for her to like put this guy to assassination, she know that she cannot do it anymore. A lot of reviewers I saw actually focus more on not on the third sex scene, but about the scene about the two of them when they were at the Japanese house drinking, because she actually danced for him and then he sort of for the first time showed a lot of like weakness to him, and then they sort of came to consensus that each of them were just victims under this big war of history.
Okay. This is actually very. So the other scene that is like your favorite scene is that dancing scene.
Yeah. So the other set of scenes that I want to ask people to go watch one, right, is that a lot of people when they watch this Crazy Rich Asian, right, they like, wow, they say this is a masterpiece, man. You should go watch the mahjong scene. Mahjong scene very important. The daughter-in-law face off with the mother-in-law. Then I'm like, this is nonsense, man. Not nonsense. The mahjong scene is still a very good scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene, but
to say that it was the first ever to be made is wrong. Okay, because actually in Last Caution, right, they also had a mahjong scene, and the mahjong scene was actually, to me, more well done in the sense that it had a lot more details, it had a lot more underlining subtext and text, and then it sort of set the setting for who's in power, who's not in power, who has whose throat at their necks.
Power dynamics.
Yeah, correct. Power dynamics. And then it sort of also give you a lot of like subtle hints about like, what's going to happen next, this kind of thing. Even the mahjong tower, like they had one scene where Tony Leung's actual wife is playing with Tang Wei's character. So they keep showing Tang Wei like 吃 to win. When the wife keeps saying 碰 to win. Yeah, so it actually gives a lot of like indication like, she's so-called eating the tiles away from her husband, because the husband is the one actually feeding her tiles.
Okay.
Then like,
and the Pong is trying to take the wife trying to take it back.
Correct.
Yeah,
Because
right.
Pong actually bigger than 吃.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
The ultimate plot twist is when the game finished, right, when they review their hands, right, because they always thought that the husband is feeding the tiles to Tang Wei, right? But when they reviewed their hand, right, it showed that actually the husband is not feeding the tiles to her. The husband is actually waiting for his own tiles to win.
Okay.
So I think it sort of like set the stage for the whole story. Quite interesting. Yeah.
Wow, man! I now you say that, right, it makes me want to go and watch this particular scene. You know what I mean?
The mahjong scene, like compare all the scene.
Yeah. I go and watch with my wife. Forget the sex scenes. I just want to see the mahjong scene.
The sex scene, they count only 7 minutes only. Very fast one. Just fast forward. Yeah.
Okay. All right, but what's your favorite like performance out of this whole movie?
Favorite performance, I think, have to be Tony Leung. Yeah.
Okay.
I felt that Tang Wei, young. She tried her best, but she's young. Whereas for Tony Leung, I could really see that layers to his performance. That there's some parts you really feel that, wow, this guy is so smart, man. Then there are some parts you really feel that, wow, this guy is so emotionally frail. Yeah, so I really think he stole the show for me.
Okay. And then another one is that, can this be made into, would you cast anyone else or change anyone in the movie?
I will change the Wang Lihong character. Oh my god, cannot. I'm sorry, cannot.
Is it you will change him because he didn't act well, or because of the hindsight now?
Okay, honestly, when I first watched the movie, I think he was so forgettable as a character.
Okay.
And I really felt that his okay, one of the thing, of course, is I think his acting is very single layered lah. I think the second thing is because he's such a big pop star, right? When I see his face, I just keep thinking of like Brandon just now, forever love them. Like, I cannot treat this guy as an actor. I cannot treat this guy as an actor. Yeah. So
but they didn't. But I think they put him because at that point he was so popular.
Yeah,
so
he was big.
To boost the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have casted someone more fitted towards the war genre than this pretty boy that can sing. Yeah.
Is there a particular actor that you thought like okay, like can?
Honestly, no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I
but you will not pick him lah. You will just pick someone else lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Vanessa Wu or something. All right. Vanessa. Jerry Yan. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, can this be made into a show?
Yes.
Or do you feel that it has to be a movie?
Honestly, when I first watched it when I was younger, I felt that this is a good movie. But now, looking back, doing some research, I sort of see that there are some places that could have added more material in.
Okay.
Especially, I think the part about like who employed Tang Wei to do all this mission, so-called mission.
Yeah, the background.
The background story,
yeah.
correct. I think could have been done a bit more.
Yeah, because I think it sounds like it could be a very long Chinese show, like the internal politics,
Exactly.
after you, the higher politics, yeah.
Because this movie, right, was actually made from a short novel by Zhang Ailing or Aileen Cheng.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Aileen Cheng wrote this short novel based on a real story about a real female spy that actually succeeded in her mission to so-called seduce this guy and then get him killed. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of backstory and a lot of intertextuality that you can work with here.
Okay. So it's like you feel that they could have added more context to the overall plot lah. Yeah, maybe like to flesh out the story a bit more.
Exactly,
the background. Yeah. And then maybe additional characters and stuff like that. Okay. Personally, right, how would you rate this movie out of 100?
Okay, if we go on a Rotten Tomato score, right, I will of course go 85 to 90 out of 100.
Okay.
The reason being, I think for me personally, I think a movie has to have both action and meaning. So I think in the action part, however good in terms of meaning the movie is still a bit lacking lah. Because of course Lian is not a big person that does a lot of action at that point of time. So I think I have to cut a bit of points in terms of the action segment. Yep.
Okay. Okay, now Brandon, for you, how much will you out of 100 will you go and watch this movie now?
Oh, out of 100, I think 75.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right, my range is 75 also. Yeah, specifically because I want to see the subtext parts,
correct, the mahjong, and then the inner, the deeper meanings. But it's because I feel like for this kind of movie, for me, I wouldn't watch. It's not an everyday kind of, It's not any day I can go and watch it. You must prepare yourself on those days that your mind is able to compare. Because after a long day of work, it's this is not the kind of movie that
nothing is going in. You need some sort of processing power and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not burn
all
your
right.
brain.
Yeah, same for me. I also go 75, and I'm gonna be watching that mahjong scene later.
I'm very interested in the mahjong scene.
Yeah, that's a good movie recommendation. All right. Next up is Mr. Brandon and your TV show.
TV show,
right?
Netflix,
right? Netflix TV show. Yeah. So
you can start off by saying the plot in one sentence.
One line.
A twisted and real possibility of what the future may look like with technology. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. What are we talking about?
We're talking about
twisted.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I like this. I enjoy this show a lot. It's because the endings, right, is all very out there. It's all very crazy and it's one of the. I was very shocked that I was hooked on the show actually because I used to dislike this kind of shows. So the show that I was talking about is Black Mirror.
Great show.
Yeah.
Nice show.
Great show.
Yeah. So at the start, I dislike the idea of like every episode is like a new beginning. You know, it's like like there's no one main character. It's like every episode
different
is
topic.
like fresh. It's correct. It's a different topic. All relatively the same. It's like, you know, in regards to like it's like technology is one of like the key concerns, and all of them have very underlying deep meanings.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So it's like and the thing is the scenes are all like, it's the kind of shows, right, that I also feel like it's all a bit heavy lah.
It's heavy. It's definitely heavy.
It's definitely heavy, but it's the kind of heaviness that it's like it's not that you cannot process. It's the kind of it wakes you up. You know, you're just like, what the hell? It's like, what the hell? What?
Yeah, it's like a lot of the episodes are very shocking because they shock you. Then you're like, oh, like how on earth, or something, crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like this is one of like a very tastefully done X-rated show, R-rated show, because there are like some show, like of the episodes there are some sex scenes and it's a very out there shows lah. Yeah, I was So honestly, one of my most shocking performance that I honestly thought that I was very shocked that he was acting. It was Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Yes.
He was in the episode. I think it's the one where he and his a good friend go into like this like fighting game together.
Yeah, like a Mortal Kombat, right? But it's like a VR simulation, correct?
It's like no, and honestly, it's because I read manga and I watch anime, right? It's actually it's like a very popular genre now after Sword Art Online, because this is like, it's like everybody's so interested in watching or reading like games where you immerse your mind into it. You know, it's like your mind, VR, MMORPG.
Virtual reality, it becomes your reality. There's the word reality in it.
Correct.
They deep dive into the idea of like, in your reality, you can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. So when it comes back into like normal reality, you're faced with the situation. It's like, how does my alternate reality affect my
yes, correct. And it's a very real thing, because it's like, these are the kind of issues, right, where as technology progress, right, and honestly, this is one of the games that I look so forward to, so excited for, like VR MMORPG, because like probably hopefully in our time, right, we get to enjoy that. Is that when, you know, like, it doesn't matter how old you are, like maybe 50 or 60, right, in the game you can still be running, jumping, you can do things, like you can experience things where it's crazy, like things that you never be able to do, you know, like you can fly, you can
I can do things my body can't do.
Correct. You can be part of, like, you can be a warrior, like all those RPG shows where you always wish, like, oh, I want to be a like Robin Hood times, or I want to like fight wars, and I want to be like a knight, you know, of like in King Arthur's kingdom. So it's like, I believe like all these games will come out at that point of time, right, where you can immerse yourself in that reality and be like a knight of the round table, you know? But then after I see Black Mirror brings out the issue that may come out from there, and it's like even worse issues is like somewhat, and because like nowadays, right, a lot of guys like to choose female characters. Right. Because like they like to pretend to be the opposite sex, and like, it's fun because it's interesting, because it's like something you cannot experience.
You cannot experience. Correct.
On your own reality. So it's like in that reality you try to be and pretend to be, but then that's why Black Mirror show is like, what happens when it goes too far. Then when you come back, right, it affects your mind. You know, it's just like, I was totally thrown off by that episode.
I think like if you wanna talk about that episode specific, the idea is that spoiler alert lah, is that these two best friends, they always go into like virtual reality that is like a Mortal Kombat similar thing, right? Correct? Like this virtual reality.
Virtual reality Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and then after they keep doing it, they sort of like become romantically involved in virtual reality.
Yes.
Fall in love with each other.
And they're best friends in real life. So it's like they're good friends. And then after that, they still have to like meet up in person. Because, you know, like they have barbecue and stuff like that.
Group settings.
So it's like, then it affects your reality, because in virtual reality, you can do whatever you want. But then when you come to your real reality, it's like, hey, like, Do you know what I mean? Like we already crossed a certain line, but we never physically do it. Do you know what I mean? But the technology allowed you to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like allowed you to go and test this boundary. Yeah. But do you have like other favorite episodes that you have, Brendan, or like other?
Honestly, I felt like the very first episode, right, was the one that like shocked me like got me like
a
interested. Lot. Yeah. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what crazy show is this? Like that's what I was saying, like taking unconventional sex to the next level.
Yeah. It's about the president, right? Yeah.
The British Prime Minister. Yes. Like the princess got kidnapped, then after that, like the kidnapper demanded that the Prime Minister had sex with a pig. I was just like on national TV. Yeah.
And he did it. For the sake of
And the ending was that towards the end it was that they actually released the princess, right? Like onto the streets, right, when the thing was happening, but nobody was on the street because everybody was at home or somewhere watching the show. But then I think to myself, will I be at home watching this as well? I'm confirm watching this at home.
You'll be like, wow, how can you not watch?
It's like at home you're thinking, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Are you kidding me? Your friends
a pig.
They seriously got a pig. What the hell is happening?
Yes. Another episode that I always think of, right, is there's this one episode, I think it's the first season also, where it's like they have memory implanted in their brain. So it's you can rewind and then see what happened, and then you can see like what is your wife think, like the what did they do in the day, so they know whether you're lying or not lying, or stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why they say like advancements in technology does you know what I mean, like the security level or your personal
it removes the level of trust. I always feel that end of the day, if you don't even give that people like a breathing room for that, because you trust them and you don't check them for every single thing. Yeah, but then with technology, it makes it so much easier. You know, last time it's impossible, but now it makes it so much easier, right? That the trust level doesn't have to be always there, but like you know, but it's like very easy to break that trust due to infringement, which is quite crazy as well.
Yeah, damn crazy. But do you watch it? This show?
I don't watch all episodes. I like for example, I've watched the ones that you all say that the president have to go fuck a pig. That one I watched. I also watched the one that
I'm beeping that out. Okay, yeah, then.
I also watched it. Anyway, it's being rated really, right? Anyway.
True.
I also watched but the very first thing I tried was the one that you can choose which route you want to go on.
Okay, now let's like sort of like dive into the category parts. Okay. Do you have a favorite like episode, favorite performance that you have in the whole thing, Brendan?
I think my favorite episode was honestly my favorite episode was my favorite performance is actually by this Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay. I know the episode you're talking about. The social media, the likes on.
Social media likes, correct. The nosedive. Because honestly, I felt like she really performed, acted very well in that show. Because you can see the internal struggle. She really wanted to help people who like were very disliked. But then after that, at the same time, she also wanted to keep up her own like image.
Yeah.
Level. Yeah, correct. And I felt like she performed like very well. Because like sometimes at one point of the movie, like if I think about it logically, it makes a bit like no sense that like you spend so long to keep your life at like 4 point something stars, or like I think it's about 5 stars. It was like 4.8, 4.79, 4.8 or 4.75 stars, right? Then I think she just had one horrible day, like blow after blow after blow, right? Then after you can see she's slowly losing her cool, slowly losing control of herself, slowly losing that false image that she tried to build up, you know that. And I thought that was she really acted so well for that show. To the point that when she went crazy, like towards the part where she was breaking down, she's losing it. Her breaking down moment when she was acting that she was breaking down. I was just like, wow. Like honestly, if I was her, I'll also be breaking down, man. Like if like all these things happen and it doesn't go my way, right, I'll be going crazy. So yeah.
Instead of asking you, would you recast anyone? Because this is a show. There's a likelihood, right, that like people can just opt. Is there like a particular actor that you would like to see in the show or like try an episode?
I feel like someone that will be very shocking, but you can understand that he like, I think Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I get it. I get it.
You get what I mean, right? Yeah. Because you get it because his religion is Scientology, right? So to a certain extent, they're like,
What
like,
if
I feel like
Scientology reached the top level of Scientology?
That's a good episode. That'll be a damn good episode.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about. Like, there's so many things that you don't understand about Scientology, and it's very related to how technology advanced as well. So and for Tom Cruise, right, he's a very out there actor. You know, there are people that they are, and at the same time he's like so famous, so popular, and he does a lot of out there things, and the stunts that he can do in the show, right, that it will be on the next level. So it's like when you're talking about like I would think that it would be quite crazy if, like, you know, if what if Scientology became the main religion, then and technology is advanced to the max, and it's like, you know, then after that Tom Cruise is a supreme leader that it become like, you know, like he right.
It'd be really good.
Yeah.
And then someone like Scientology is a lot of the reason why he's so fearless, because he believes that it's like, you know, there's a higher being that is like allowing him to be his maximum
best,
potential.
Maximum, yes.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be it's a good episode idea too. Okay. All right. What is your show rating? Like, how will you rate this?
80.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only reason why I rate this as 80 is just because there are some episodes that are just like
not as good.
They are not as good. But if I'm talking about just the good
agree.
ones, right, it's an easy 90 for me. Just 90 to 95. I believe the good ones are just at that level, you know. It's because those good episodes, it's just like, wow, it shocks you. Like, no matter how tired you are, you're just like, oh my god, like, what the hell is it? What's happening?
What is happening? Yeah.
Then it just drags you in, you know. It's like, no matter how tired you are, like, there was once, right, I think the reason why I got hooked on the show is because someone was playing in the background of the party, right. I couldn't focus on any conversation because I was just like so
so heavily engrossed into the thing.
Yeah, engrossed. I was so absorbed into the plot, right. Then I was just like, I don't understand what could the ending be. You know, it's just like some of the episodes, it's just like you are thinking, what could the possible ending be? You know, it's like, it's crazy. And the thing is that they showed it time and time again, right? That the ending, some of them is like crazy ending where everybody like it's like the worst ending, everybody dies, but it's a very real thing.
Yeah,
that
it's a
happens.
real thing. Yeah, it's a real situation. Yeah,
real situation. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
All right. Would you? Okay, like, I think they really thought about there is actually a movie like that. I don't think it's as good. I watched a bit of it. Yeah, I don't think it's not as good lah. So I think if for it to be a movie, it has to be the right sort of topic, the right topic lah.
The right. We have to have the right plot lah.
Yeah. Tom Cruise would be a good one if it was like a movie.
Oh my god! I think that will be, and I believe Tom Cruise will only do a movie. You get what I mean? Yeah. He won't do like a.
Yeah, Black Mirror, Scientology.
Let's say a new season comes out, right? It's not immediately must press and watch kind of for me lah. So I would say maybe a 60 to 70. I think maximum about 70, because I agree with Brandon that some episodes really hit or miss.
Yeah.
Some are really good. Some I watch really, I'm like, I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Because
they are that experimental lah. Yeah, so I think it's really the hit and miss thing that really stops me from like, I'm like, I watch this when I have time, this kind of thing. Yeah,
I agree. I'm about like the 75%, but most of the time, right, when the new season comes out, they'll always be like, watch this. There's somehow they'll just say, watch this one, watch this particular episode. Or like,
they have really reviewed it for you.
Yeah. So it's like you already like more or less know, like, okay, I'm gonna go for this one.
Yeah.
All right, Black Mirror. That's a good pick, man. Okay, I'm up next. I'm diving into a bit similar to Brandon, but my genre is just purely sci-fi. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read the plot to you, and then I don't think that many people know this movie, but if you watch this movie, right, you'll be like, this is the greatest sci-fi movie ever. It like legit is like one of the most well-crafted, amazing, graphically made movies ever.
Sci-fi.
Okay. So the plot is that aliens arrive on Earth, but they do not land in USA. They land in South Africa. Okay.
Oh.
And then they come to South Africa to find refuge from their dying planet, and they end up living in a segmented area of South Africa called District 9. Okay? So this movie is called District 9. Okay? And it is produced by Peter Jackson. Yeah, and it's directed by Neil Blomkamp. So Neil Blomkamp, right, the movies that he's directed subsequently is like Chappie. You know Chappie, the robot movie?
The robot. Yes.
Yeah. Or like Elysium. you know the Matt Damon. Is it Matt Damon? Yeah, Matt Damon movie. Elysium lah.
Yeah. The
Oh my god,
Elysium.
I think I have really watched this movie before leh. You asked me to watch one.
Yes. Okay, so this is like, in my opinion, a perfect sci-fi movie. There is nothing that I would honestly change in the whole like story lah. Okay, so let me like just read off the plot to you first lah. Okay, the movie starts where they are filming it like a documentary. So what happens is that they're filming it like a South African news broadcasting, and then they're like talking about how the aliens came to South Africa. So when one day this alien mothership, right, just all of a sudden is just hovering over South Africa. Okay, and then the whole world is like, oh my god, there are aliens. Like there are legit alien people. They show lah that there's a part of the ship that falls out of the thing, like a specific component that does not allow the ship to fly off anymore. So now it's just stuck in what's that? In South Africa. It cannot fly off. It cannot anything like that lah. An important component is gone, and then they eventually like, okay, like we have to like enter the alien mothership, right? So as they enter, they realize, right, that all of the people on board, they are not the smart aliens. They are like the worker aliens. You get what I mean? So it's like they're not the like, wow, I can do technology or this type of thing. They're like the like maybe low class aliens.
Yeah, like
and they were
mechanics,
sent off first to go and find like a area to go and find like a suitable land for their new dying area or whatever lah. These people, they are known as prawns because they look like prawns, like the way that they design the characters and all this lah. Okay, so as they land in South Africa, the world pressurizes the South African community to like, hey, like what are you gonna do with them? Like you can't just kick them out because you know there's civil unrest, right? There's like it's like you can't really just kill the alien at the same time because it's like animal abuse ma. I mean like, so what they decide to do is that, okay, we're gonna house them in South Africa, right, in a particular plot of land, and we're gonna call it District 9. But after they start to like slowly integrate them into the society, right, it realizes that the humans and the District 9, right, they cannot coexist. With the South African, there comes fear. I mean, like naturally, if like an alien will be next door to you, of course, how on earth? Do you know what I mean? Like just get off lah. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't come on to alien. Yeah. So the plot, right, itself is about how many years later after this they've integrated into life. So the show is like 10 years they are like in living them coexisting lah. It's about how they are moving them out of District 9 and moving them into District 10. Now they follow the main character whose name is Wickers. And this Wickers, he's acted by, I can't remember this actor's name, but if you've ever seen the movie A-Team, right? You know the Liam Neeson one with Rampage Jackson and stuff like that. Yeah. He's the quirky guy, the quirky looking.
Oh,
He's
the pilot.
The pilot. Yeah, correct. And the reason why they casted him is because he's a South African. So his role in the sort of like United Nations, right, is that he's the one that is facilitating the transition period. Like, okay, I'm moving y'all today, I'm moving all of y'all out to District 10. But as he comes across one particular house, this person has been collecting fluid over the past 20 years, right, to go and pilot a plane because he managed to gather enough fuel to go and like go back to his like homeland. Okay. As this Wickers is like sort of like confiscating the items, right, he accidentally squirts this fluid into his face. So over the course of the movie, right, you get to see that actually he's slowly turning into one of them, like a prawn. Yeah.
Oh.
And then they realize that, oh shit, in that particular moment, like he's half human, half prawn, right? And then what makes it so great, I would say, right, is that because it showcases you exactly how humans can be horrible if this situation were to ever happen in real life. Like because they make it very cool in a way that the aliens are the only ones that can operate the weapons because of their like armament technology or this, right? So halfway while this main character, he's slowly transforming into a prawn, his like arm is like, oh, like now he can operate the weapons. So they like sort of bring him in and they sort of like make use of the fact that he can use the weapons and then sort of torture him lah. Then they also go into deep detail about like, okay, there's a black market for all of these like the goods, and then there's witchcraft, the body parts from another planet. Of course, like they'll say, oh, if you drink it, you'll cure cancer.
There's some use for it.
Yeah. So they create a world around this like anthology of the whole like idea of this like alien coming over to the thing. Favorite performances, right? The main actor, I can't remember. I have to go and search this guy's name. Yeah, the actor is Sharlto Copley. Yeah.
Sharlto Kopi.
Yeah. And then they also dive very into detail about his particular character because his wife and him are going to get married. he doesn't want to like let his wife know that he's not well or like there's something wrong. Yeah, there's some that he's continually changing. But then when she realizes that he's gonna change, right, that's when like oh shit, like the reality hits, you know.
Yeah.
Then it's like he has to sort of protect this other alien that is like collecting the fluid, because I need you to go back, because he says that there's technology that can revert you back to a human.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's more or less the like main plot of it. Do I think that will I recast anyone? To be honest, no. I think this is a perfect movie because it has to be a South African cast. They cannot really like change or add anyone.
Maybe you recast the prawn with a fish or a fish with a lobster.
Yeah. But you've seen the movie, right, Jin Yong?
Yes.
The character designs is damn amazing, right? Of like the prawns.
To be honest, I see already, I feel very disgusted.
Yes, you feel very like gross and like,
I'm like, oh my god. Then I don't know whether that's the reaction I'm supposed to have, because now I feel like I'm also one of people that being racist, you know.
Yeah. It's like maybe in their definition, with their own standards, they're like all good looking, but you don't know, because they're aliens. To us, it's like they're ugly or whatever lah. Yeah. Can this be made into a movie or a show? It can be made into a show, but I do think it's a perfect movie. So to be honest, I wouldn't make it into a show, even though they can flesh out the like how the aliens are living in real life. They're like, what do they do on a daily basis? Why did they cause so much civil unrest? They could have shown also like how they got them off the mothership and stuff like that lah.
Yeah,
it's like
that story. Yeah, I think that they can do a lot of it.
Yeah. No, because I think hearing how you describe the story, right, there's actually a lot of potential of like doing in the series. But if to be done in the series, right, to me you have to add more characters.
Yes.
So like instead of like not just all the prawn aliens, you have to introduce a higher class aliens also. Or let's say not just all humans that want to migrate people to District 10. You have to put people that want them to stay in District 9 also. So I think there's some conflict there that will sort of spin the story longer.
Yeah, I agree. Movie rating. For me, right, this is a perfect sci-fi movie. So whenever people ask me like what's my favorite sci-fi movie, right, I'll say this is my favorite sci-fi movie. And then lastly, we touched on it about like sex, right? Like, correct? It's a bit graphic. They do not like show it directly, but they explore the idea of like they prostitute humans to the aliens. Interspecies, mating and stuff like that. And then like how the witchcraft of it, like they say like, oh, you impregnate me with then they give birth to like unborn babies and stuff like that lah. Like genetically, by not supposed, because a lot of the black market people, right, those like warmongers they want to sort of become the alien so that they can control the weaponry.
Weapons,
So like they try different things like the witchcraft, they go and eat the thing, or like they go and try to like get one of the girls pregnant so that the child can have the thing like that lah. Yeah, so it touches a bit on that. Okay, for me, I think it's a 100% movie. It's in my top 10 favorite movies ever lah. But yeah, what about you guys? So would you watch this movie out of 100? Like, you watched the movie also, right? How you rate it?
I watched the movie. I agree that it's a good movie, but honestly, how do you say this without like being a wet blanket? Honestly, because I told you that the first word that came into my mind after I finished the movie was racism. So I just thought that I've seen other similar racism film before, but now that the context is different with aliens and humans lah.
Okay.
So I wouldn't give it like the best score lah. So maybe probably a 70 or 80. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Brandon, how much would you like be interested to watch this movie?
Oh, honestly, for me, after you say, I think it's like a 80, 85. Yeah. But and someone looking, I went to search just a photo of the actor, like he's half changing. Right? Honestly, it's very well done. Like his eye,
he's damn well done, bro.
Yeah. Because honestly, like I always feel like the thing about all these kind of sci-fi movies is just that when it's done, it's not when the character design is not tastefully done, right? It's very off-putting. Yeah. So the aliens really look like aliens, and like and like the interspecies, you can see like the transition. It's not bad. Yeah, and the plot sounds
it's damn detailed, right?
Yeah, it's damn detailed, and the plot is very simple. Like it's not like so many different. Because the thing about sci-fi is really there are a lot of new things to understand it because it's like a species. It's like there's really like things interesting enough, really, like with like the mothership, like they're probably learning about their weapons and everything.
And the first like sort of 10 minutes, right? They recap what happens. And then it's like you're up to speed already. It's like after this 10 minutes, right, we are diving straight into the movie. It's like a journey. That we are going to like move them from District 9 to District 10. And then you just follow this character. La. And then you feel so bad for the character, the main character. La. But,
I believe so.
Yeah. Even when you now I'm looking, I also googled the photo, right? Like the image that came out is like the eye is like the prawn.
One eye prawn. It's crazy. It's very well done, I feel.
Yeah. I highly recommend. Okay. And then, now let's go on to this last movie. Jin Yong, your last film. What are you going to recommend?
Film, I'll describe it in just a few words. Reporters go up against Catholic Church.
Oh,
great movie.
I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great movie.
I watched it on a plane back from I don't know where. Taiwan, I remember. Yeah, a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
you
movie
can say
I'm
the
talking
movie.
about is Spotlight. Yeah.
Spotlight. Great movie.
Yes. I didn't pick this movie. I only picked this movie after a few days of research because I didn't know it was rated R because there wasn't any sex scenes or any violence per se. But it was rated R because of the content because there's a lot of talk about rape and especially to little children when they were young.
Pedophilia.
Yeah, so basically the movie is about this team of Boston Globe
reporters.
Journalists. Reporters. So they call it investigative journalists. So they went through their archives. They found some like previously a few years ago, people wrote to them about this, Catholic priests abusing them when they were young. And then the team just decided to take on the story and then go and do their research. And they realized that it has been happening systematically for a few years. So they did a report about it, and then it blew up. So that's the basic gist of the story. Yep.
Yeah. Plus also like I think you have to emphasize sort of the meaning of spotlight. Yeah, which is a different reporting system than compared to like a normal journalist. So journalists it's like they try to get the news out as fast as possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have this particular team that is Spotlight that is like they do extensive deep dive research to break down and review review truths and stuff like that lah. Yeah, lor.
So even in the movie, I remember when they went to their so-called supervisor and tell him that we got this already. The supervisor will tell them this one not enough. You have to make it a pattern. He wants to see a pattern. So he rejected their script, right? And they really have to go back and do their homework again, right? To find even more victims to show that this is a pattern, so that like the Catholic Church cannot turn a blind eye to it. I found that very amazing,
Yeah, it's like they changed the focus. I remember also is the particular, it was like they're focusing on like the priests in Boston, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, they allowed the priests to do this in Boston and then they move them around in different parishes or this. Yeah. But the sort of like the department head was like, no, you have to look at it from a bigger picture. Exactly. So then they start like move it and then you realize that it's a systemic thing from the Catholic Church. It's like from all the way up, they do this thing where they sort of like, how to say, they move them away. They don't remove them from their position, but they like move them around and shift them around.
Different churches,
there's this other movie that I think if you watch both, right, they link up quite well. But this movie came out many years before Spotlight. It's called Doubt. So have you heard before this movie Doubt? It's like with Meryl Streep and Amy Adams, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, Amy Adams, like, right? Yes.
Yeah. I would say that it's like a prelude to the idea that Catholic priests, they have this issue with children. Yeah, so it's about these two nuns, right? One is Meryl Streep, one is Amy Adams, right? They sort of like run the church, the parish, and then they have like kids and connect there. They doubt that they have doubt that the priest, right, is he molests one of the children there lah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's like it opens a lot of worms. Then do you know what I mean? Then it was like after that, it led directly like many years later. Then Spotlight came out. It's like, oh, it's actually like, it was at the time that was a very like, are you sure you should be touching this topic? Do you know what I mean? Like,
movies about like religion.
Yeah, but then after you realize the uncover is like, oh, it's a huge systemic problem. Yeah. All right, let's sort of like go into the categories. Do you have a favorite like scene or favorite performance from the movie?
Okay, performance, I don't really have a favorite performance because I thought this was a movie that the director was very, deliberate in ensuring that everybody had their equal roles to play and nobody really stood out. But my favorite scene was the the ending scene where the day after the article came out, I remember, then like everybody like seemed to be business as normal. They went and buy breakfast. Then they went in on a Saturday. Then suddenly they see like, how come like the main newsroom, nobody? Then he go ask I think I remember the desk girl. The desk girl said, everybody in the spotlight room picking up phone calls.
Yeah.
So he went in, the phone just keep ringing. He's like, what's going on? Then I remember the ending scene, the guy speak up and say, hello, spotlight. Then it just ended.
Yeah. And the reason that they were calling is because they were confirming or reporting even further cases of the priests.
The abusers.
Yeah. Insane. Well, I would say, right, okay, now let's go into the next one, right? If you don't have, I think I get what you mean. I also like don't really remember one particular scene, but I remember the whole entire movie was like great.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like recast anyone?
I wouldn't recast anyone, but I would, because for me, the only criticism I have about this film is that I felt that it was very like that lah. It means it just went on one line. There wasn't much ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have thrown in something of you can either call it a time bomb or something that will cause chaos lah. So I would have loved for somebody to play the role of a Catholic priest in the movie.
Yes. Okay. I was gonna say, right, if you watch the movie Doubt, right, this Philip Seymour Hoffman, right, who like sadly he passed away. He would have been perfect in this style of like role. This Philip Seymour Hoffman. This like he's the priest that he makes. There's this very famous scene in that movie where he goes to the sermon, right, and then he talks about gossiping, and then he like questions the nuns like behind the, you know what I mean, like how to say then the nuns have to question the morality of like, am I wrong to like judge the, do you know what I mean, like
Yes.
Then you turn it back against them. Wow, that's good.
No, I want to watch Doubt.
Can this be made into a movie or a show? So can this be made into a show? Easily lah.
Easily.
I think it's the same as District 9 in the sense that if you want to make it into a series, I think there has to be more layers and more, elements added to it lah. So like I say, they could have added the Catholic priest or the Catholic church side to the series. It will make it more interesting. And then they can probably do more about I remember they interviewed the victims only. I remember they only interviewed one or two parents. I think the parents' reaction to the children when the children reported the cases to them would be interesting also. Because none of the parents believe that there's children like, why would a Catholic priest touch you in an indecent way, right? Yeah. So I think that would be interesting also. These are some of the elements that you can add and then you can become a series lah.
Tough, man. But I was going to say, right, I do think that if this was going to be made into a show, right, it will not be a show. It'll be like a documentary. Like a a 4-part documentary series, or like how they like slowly unravel the thing and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I mean, it's a real life case. You know what I mean? Like, it's based on a true story.
I remember when Spotlight was chosen as I think he was one of the candidates for the best film in 2015 or 2016.
He won what?
The cast actually went with the actual reporters that they played. To the show. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. But I think like the last thing before we end off like the movie rating, how would you rate the movie?
Honestly, this one maybe 75. I wouldn't rate it that much. It's a good movie, but like I say, it's lacking in the action element, and I find it a bit flat lah. Yeah.
Okay, but Brandon, you've watched it also, right?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it as well.
Yeah. Well, how would you rate it? Do you fall asleep?
Yeah, I say it was. I felt like at certain part it was a bit dry. Yeah, I agree. It's just that like, well, that's the thing about this kind of show. If it's because they have no choice but to give you the context of like the backstory.
Yeah, you have to know the full context to understand the magnitude of it. Yeah,
that's why there's a lot of, it's very text heavy. So sometimes when they do, like I say, it's very hard to do it well enough that it doesn't feel dry. You know? So it's like So that's it. Sometimes it's not the kind of shows that you can just watch and you must really like pay attention to like whatever, like, you know, to fully really be involved in the show and you know you really need to pay attention to whatever like all the speech, and I think it's a bit heavy lah. Yeah.
How would you rate it though?
I think it's 70.
Yeah. I'll rate it like 80. Like, I understand why I won best picture lah. You know what I mean? Because of the magnitude of the thing. Yeah. But it's not my personal kind of like must watch this stuff.
Yeah. It's not a must watch. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Before we like go off and then end off this X-rated things, what is like we just like name them off, like we don't need a deep dive into them. What are like the other movies that you like sort of considered talking about? Or like what are other shows that you like? Brokeback Mountain. Okay, yeah. Good movie.
Brokeback Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time when we were growing up, we were like, but then actually it's a good movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, but actually it's a good movie. All right. X-rated X-Men. That was, I think more or less that's about it. That is our X-rated movie/TV shows episode.
Get out of here.
Oh, look at the time. The coffee shop is closing. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to give a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe. We have episodes that drops every Monday. But in the same time, also, if you're into football, we have the Football Kaki that drops every Wednesday. And if you want to hang out with us and do a game show format, we have the SG Draft podcast that drops every Friday. Also, for our KopiBros episode in tandem for our Instagram page, we always have a weekly tournament poll. So head over to our Instagram page and vote for this week's tournament. In the meantime, we hope everyone watches your X-rated movies in a conducive and safe manner. But remember,
a kopi a day keeps your troubles away.
Let's keep it X-rated, guys.
X, go and give it to you. Go and give it. Yeah, X. Bye, boys.